Okay. Okay. Okay, how's it going?
Okay, I guess.
Ha, right. You hear it, I don't know, maybe 100 times a day. You probably say it just as often without even, thinking about it.
Absolutely. It's just there, part of
Yeah.
the background noise of language.
Totally. But have you ever actually stopped and wondered, where did okay even come from?
It's funny you mention that because its history is, well, not what most people probably think.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing in this deep dive. We're digging into the really surprising, kind of bizarre story behind okay based on that great Fox piece.
Yeah, it's fascinating. A word so common, so global, starting out so strangely. It really makes you appreciate how language evolves in unexpected ways.
Okay, so buckle up because the video reveals this whole thing kicked off with, well, a fad, a trend for deliberately misspelling words.
Right, back in, what, the 1830s in
Yeah.
Boston.
Yeah, 1830s Boston. Apparently, these young, sort of intellectual types, the cool kids of the era, thought it was hilarious to use intentionally wrong abbreviations.
Like a kind of coded slang almost.
Exactly. Stuff like KC for nuff, snuffed, enough said, or KY for no use, OW for all right.
All right. It sounds pretty ridiculous to us now, doesn't it?
It really does. Imagine trying to text like that today.
Well, linguistic fads, inside jokes, they pop up all the time. It's just that most of them, they fade away.
Right. But this one, well, one specific abbreviation from this mess somehow stuck. Okay.
Standing for.
All correct.
Right.
As in all correct, which, okay, all correct makes sense as something people would say, everything's fine, everything's in order.
Sure, that part's logical enough.
And the video gives us a super specific date for its first big appearance, March 23rd, 1839, in the Boston Morning Post.
Wow, down to the day. And it wasn't just a one-off mention then.
No, apparently not. It started as this little Boston inside joke, but other newspapers thought it was funny or maybe just weird enough to print.
So they picked up the joke, as the video calls it.
Yeah, and suddenly it wasn't just for those Boston hipsters anymore. It started spreading. People knew about it.
Interesting how media, even back then, could amplify something like that so quickly.
But it wasn't just newspapers. This is where it gets, really wild. There's a connection to a U.S. president.
Oh, which one?
Martin Van Buren. During his 1840 re-election campaign, apparently he was from Kinderhook, New York.
Okay.
So his nickname was Old Kinderhook. And get this, his supporters formed OK clubs.
Ah, Old Kinderhook. Okay, I see where this is going.
Exactly. They were deliberately linking OK, the abbreviation for all correct, to their guy.
Yeah.
Saying Van Buren himself was all correct, basically.
Huh. So a silly misspelling becomes a political slogan? That's quite a leap.
Isn't it? But, politics, his opponents jumped on it immediately.
Of course they did.
They started twisting it, saying, okay, really stood for stuff like orphan conspiracy or orphan catastrophe.
Ouch. So they turned his own slang against him. Classic political maneuver.
Totally. And the video points out, even with this catchy name, well, catchy for both sides, I guess, it didn't actually help him win. He lost the election.
Right. But the legacy wasn't the election outcome. It was the word itself.
Exactly. That whole campaign, even though he lost, it seems like it really cemented okay in the American language. Everyone heard it, everyone was talking about it, even if for negative reasons sometimes.
So politics gave it a huge boost in public awareness. But that's not the whole story for why it stuck, is it?
No, not at all. Because right around the corner, technologically speaking, was something huge. The telegraph.
Ah, yes. Debuting in, 1844? Just a few years after that election madness.
Right. And think about the telegraph Morse code, dots and dashes. You need things to be short, clear, efficient.
And OK fits that bill perfectly.
Totally. It's short, easy to tap out in Morse. And crucially, it doesn't really sound like other letters, so less chance of mistakes. It was almost like custom made for the telegraph.
That's a really key point. It transitions from this quirky slang, this political football, into something genuinely useful, even essential for communication technology.
Yeah, it's a major shift. And the video shares this amazing detail from an 1865 telegraph manual. It apparently said, no message is ever regarded as transmitted until the office receiving it gives OK.
Wow. So it became the official confirmation signal?
Pretty much. It went from all correct in a newspaper joke to the required signal for successful telegraph transmission. That's a serious promotion.
It really is. It locks the word into the infrastructure of communications. Not just slang anymore. It's operational. Standard procedure.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got the joke, the politics, the telegraph. But wait, there's more. The video brings up another kind of surprising factor.
Go on.
The letter K itself.
The letter K. How so?
Well, apparently K is pretty rare as the first letter in English words, like way down the list, around 22nd or something.
Huh. I never really thought about that, but yeah, I guess you don't see as many Ks as S's or T's.
Right, and because it was rare, it kind of stood out. And this led to, get this, an early 20th century craze for K in advertising.
A craze for K, spelled with a K, I presume.
You got it. Companies started deliberately using K instead of C in their names and ads because they thought it would, and I quote the video here, catch your eye.
Ah, that's brilliant. So it was a deliberate marketing gimmick to use that slightly unusual letter.
Seems like it. The video gives examples like Clearflax linen rugs and Cookwright stove.
Yeah.
Using the K just made them pop on the page, made them more memorable.
That makes sense from a visual standpoint. Stands out in a sea of C's.
And it's not just ancient history, right? The video mentions modern examples. Think Krispy Kreme.
Oh, yeah. Or Kool-Aid.
Exactly. Not Krispy Kreme or Kool-Aid. That K still has a certain punch. It's kind of ironic that the rarity of the letter helped make a word containing it so common.
It speaks to the subtle power of phonetics and visuals in language and branding, doesn't it? Things we might not consciously notice, but that still have an effect.
Totally. So, OK is spreading like wildfire. It's useful for telegraphs. It's even got this cool K factor. But the original story, the whole old correct joke, that started to get fuzzy.
People forgot where it actually came from.
Yeah. The video says by the 1890s, the Boston misspelling origin was mostly forgotten. And you know what happens then?
Myths start popping up. Folk etymology.
Exactly. People started inventing origins. The video mentions one popular one, that it came from the Choctaw word OK, meaning something like, so it is.
Right, I've heard that one. It sounds plausible, maybe a bit more distinguished than a spelling joke.
It does, but the timing just doesn't work, according to linguists. The Boston origin is documented much earlier and clearly traces the word's rise. The Choctaw idea came later, trying to explain this word everyone used, but whose origins were already murky.
It shows our desire to find neat explanations. Even if they're not historically accurate, we prefer a good story sometimes.
So true. So the real, slightly embarrassing origin faded, but OK itself was stronger than ever. And today, how do we mostly use it? The video calls it the ultimate neutral affirmative.
A neutral affirmative. I like that. Alan Metcalf, who literally wrote the book on OK, defined it as something that affirms without evaluating.
Yeah, that nails it, doesn't it? It confirms, it acknowledges, but it doesn't really add much judgment.
Precisely. That neutrality is its superpower.
Right.
Think about it. Did you get home okay? Just means, did you arrive safely?
Right. Not, did you have a fantastic journey?
Or if you say the food was okay, it means it was acceptable, passable, not great, not terrible, just okay.
Or confirming plans. OK, see you at 7. It's efficient, clear, no fuss.
It's become this incredibly versatile, lean linguistic tool.
Yeah.
A real workhorse.
Such a reflex, isn't it? And speaking of how ingrained it is, the video drops this amazing little nugget, possibly anecdotal, but still cool.
What's that?
That OK might have been the very first word spoken on the moon.
Get out, really?
Well, arguably the first spoken word after landing. Think about it. Confirming systems, acknowledging mission control. OK would be right in there.
Wow. Whether it's the absolute first or just among the first, that's still incredible. From a Boston joke to the lunar surface.
It's mind-blowing, right? So that's the journey. A silly 1830s inside joke becomes possibly the most recognized word on the planet.
Through newspapers, politics, technology, advertising, just a whole series of unexpected boosts and applications.
It really shows how language can take these wild, unpredictable paths. Something starts as one thing and ends up completely different and utterly essential.
A fantastic reminder that the words we use every day often have these incredibly rich, hidden histories. The story of OK is definitely a testament to that.
Absolutely. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Considering OK's crazy, complex journey, what other simple, everyday words that we never think twice about might have equally fascinating, maybe even stranger stories just waiting behind them, makes you want to look closer.